Guys, what's happening? We're here for round 2 of the human guinea pig project. Here with my boy Butchies from AB Physiology. We're at CMBT Training Center. We're going deep on breathing, breath work, how it impacts health, how it impacts performance. I want to give you guys some actionable kind of steps around how to implement this in your own training. Breathing is one of those things it's beautiful. It's the remote control for our physiology. We're stressed out, we can use it to calm ourselves down. Or if we're calm, we need to get hyped, we can use it to ramp ourselves back up. Going in, we're gonna be doing some testing, gonna be doing some hard yard stuff. Let's go, let's see how I go.
Alright, so today I'm going to take you through some just foundational breathwork principles around expanding and, more importantly, contracting our torso to exhale. Once we've established that top and bottom, we'll work through some release and spatial work. Then we'll run through some carbon dioxide work, and then finally we'll put it all to the test with some interval work and see how we can tie all this breath work into recovery, performance, nervous system regulation, and all of the above.
Man, so I know you're big on how breathing affects your physiology, AB Physiology. So what are the basics or the foundational stuff that we get from breath work and how it has this overarching impact on our physiology and our stress? And in this current climate, dealing with stress is such an important thing. So yeah.
To me, it's the central nervous system element. Right, so everyone sees the superficial breath work, or they see the stuff when they're laying on the ground, or they're convulsing, or they're crying, or they're having this dramatic emotional release, and that is because that taps into our fundamental nervous undertones. And for today we're looking at performance, right? So when I look at my MMA fighters, for example, it's pretty stressful to get into a cage in your underwear and fight someone until one of you is knocked out, has a broken limb. So we can't remove the stress. The stress is the intrinsic part of it, but keeping your head clear under stress, keeping a lid on your heart rate, and then being able to rebound through bursts of extreme physical intensity and be able to drop yourself back down as quickly as possible is fundamental. And that's just channeling our stress response into a superpower is what these boys doing here that I respect them for so much.
I love that, the way you put it as well, to tap into that superhuman strength. I think it might have been you even said it this way, but the breathing is like a remote control for the central nervous system.
Yeah, I think of like a throttle on a motorbike. We need to have throttle control, right? So when you first ride a motorbike, you're all over the place and you're jerky, but then when you watch like an elite motorbike or the guys that race, they have such a deft touch with all their revs, right? So we need to go to rev really high, but not have all the wheels fall off. We also need to be able to drop down to make corners. Do you know what I mean? If you hit anything too hard and too fast, you're more likely to crash. So that's what we're kind of doing with our nervous system, is learning how to bring it up, bring it down, and then if you can match your desired output and your exhaust and intake system matches that output, that's how an engine in a car hums, right? So we need to be able to hum too.
Beautiful. So what are we going to go through first up, mate?
First, we're going to measure some diameter through here, and then we're going to go and do some practical elements and some release work and see if you can expand that change, or at least make what you've got feel easier. To do this one properly, because we're doing a dead hang, we're totally relaxing. When you inhale, you'll actually feel yourself getting taller, right? You're the one that told me, hey, inhaling is a compressive force when we're standing up, but when we're hanging from the arms, it's a lengthening force. So you feel your legs, you get taller.
I don't really care if you cry. I don't really should've never lied. Should've saw the way she looked me up.
Tight areas, you might feel a bit of a cinch.
Breathe into them. Breathe into the tight areas in the 5 rounds to see how much you can get in, how much you can get out, and then we're going to have a season something where you felt
push me to the edge, phantom, that's alright. Inside all white, like something you ride a sled down. I just want that head, my brain her mad, her brain her mad now.
Roll your ass up down, relax your hands down, and just Shake it out. So normally, even just from that, take a lap.
Heck flat. Heck here.
Yeah.
Flat, yeah.
So we've explored a bit of space. We measured some diameters. We did some hanging breath work. Now Hugh's identified pec and posterior calf, lat, rotator cuff as where he felt slightly restricted. So now we're going to really specifically target these areas using some basic trigger point work, but tying the breath into that to help us, get the most juice from the squeeze, right? What I've found is if I kick my hips back and lean forward, my hand can be dead. I can actively through here. I can internally rotate through here. I can reach up, wrap elbow forward or back. You can apply whatever you need to find the point. When you find a spot that's worth exploring, we're in for 4, hold for 5, relax for 6.
The one I'm about to tuck into, which is and you'd see it yourself with people who've got like shoulder rehab or any shoulder dysfunction, it's just like pretty much a guaranteed tight spot.
100%. I just think most people sit in your shitty posture. That's how everyone sits. Everyone sits like this, and when you breathe like this in this shitty posture, we overuse these, we overuse our neck, and this stays pathologically short. All this stuff at the back is fighting to pull it back, so they play tug of war, and then we get this compressed shoulder capture, right? So by just releasing these 2 places, you should feel already an improved ability to, especially at the top of the breath, you'll find this extra 10 or 20% in the top, you're like, that feels good, right? And then we're going through.
You know I said that I am better now, better now. I only say that cause you're not around, not around. You know I never meant to let you down, let you down. Would've gave you anything, would've gave you everything. Whoa, I did not believe that it would end, no. Everything came second to the band, so you're not even speaking to my friends, no.
So just here, just take a full breath in through your nose and just relax. Feel a different side to side.
Yeah, definitely feeling more free.
Right?
Yeah. Especially up through here, it was a bit jammed down earlier.
And that's where we get that, because when we breathe efficiently, we aren't inhaling and coming to this right? It's very much a smiling of the collarbones as if something's pulling them up this way. So if this is tight, we can't get that last little, that spreading out and pulling up of our ribs, because everyone's so used to chest heaving and everything constricts like this, as opposed to this really expansive, we need to get wide. Okay, so we've tested expansion. We've done some trigger point release work. We've got an improved, a perceived improvement at least, in our range of motion or reducing tension and a feeling of more space. Okay, we'll test this space momentarily, but before then, we're now gonna go and do a progressive golden ratio test, which is a way of seeing how well we can pay attention and count and breathe under building amounts of carbon dioxide in our blood. And this carbon dioxide in our blood triggers probably our deepest stress response. It hits us in the brainstem. It skips all of our higher level brain function and just starts firing off on really primal signals of fear and death, unfortunately. But how we hold ourselves in the face of that discomfort and that stress is the whole point. So on to the next thing. You do 3 rounds of each ratio, then you add 1 to the count. So you're going to do 3 breaths to prepare, in through your nose, out through your nose. And then I'm going to say begin. You're going to start your first round, your first breath, in for 3, hold for 12, out for 6, hold for 3, in for 3, hold for 12, in for 3, round 2, 4, 16, 8, 4, 4, 16, 8, 4, 4, 16, 8, 4, round 3, 5, 20, 10, 5. As you progress. So that's cool, because the goal is you want to be able to time your inhale so that when you get to the end of the count, if it's a 3,
Full?
Yeah?
Yep.
But then when we get to a 5 or a 6, if you get to the 7s or the 8s, then it's more like a... So you got to start playing with your cadence. The exhales are by far the hardest thing.
So what's the standard? Is there something that you want to see people hit at a bare minimum? Or is there?
I vary this test depending on the person, and then it's test, retest. So, because I know who I'm dealing with right now, you're starting at a 3. If it's the first time ever doing any breath work, we'll start at a 2. Because if you do the lower ratios, they're a lot calmer, a lot more like zoning you in. But if you really want to like feel that deep kind of panic, the same one you get if you do any breath hold walking or running with like inhale, hold, exhale, hold on a walk or a run. You know that like intense panic sets in really fast?
Yeah, super uncomfortable.
We can get super uncomfortable super quick by going straight to the ratio we tapped out at, but then we can also know we can play with all of these. So, once I say start, you're going to take 3 breaths to get ready. Okay. Take a deep breath in, big breath out. All in and out through our nose. Beginning now, 3 breaths prepare in. Passively let the air go. Relax and find a gentle bottom. 2 more to prepare. Last preparatory breath. Now we begin our round of 3. So get to the top for a 3 count. One more round.
Done already, man. Wigging out.
It's cooked.
Fantastic.
Properly wigging out. Yeah. Alright, done.
Beautiful. Welcome to the golden ratio.
Beautiful, man.
What happened?
Couldn't do it.
How so?
That's it.
Get to the second round. Or third round. What were you feeling? Yeah, like let it come back. Like get your breath back. You rushed straight out of what we said not to. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and just let it settle. You got like goosebumps and shit. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Just drop it. Cool. Big breath in from there. From there, breathe in. Stop trying to breathe the air out. Just breathe in for me.
Good, man.
Okay?
Yeah, you do good. Cheers, brother. Saviour. Went on a journey, bro. The golden ratio.
Ooh, look at the get ya. Happens to people when they, for example, have a debut in jiu-jitsu or fighting. They think they've done all the work and they get into their first jiu-jitsu tournament or they get into their first amateur fight in a cage with the lights on and then like ready to go. That happens. A glass over, they don't listen to their corner. I'm guilty of it as anyone else in jiu-jitsu tournaments where your coach is like saying like, put your left hand here, and you can hear them saying do this, but it is not computing to your system.
Yeah. So with the CO2 tolerance stuff, if you're already at a threshold of, like let's say, life stress is high, you got things going on, so stress is already at a level, will this kind of push you to that level way quicker?
Yes.
Like, okay.
It's the same way as when we talk about, say, like the shift adapt guys CO2 tolerance test for that 1 breath, right? You can also get really good at that test, right? You know it. You can become very good at a test, and that's a good test, and it's a good measuring stick because for that exact reason, you can go and do that simple 3 tidal breaths timed exhale and see, Jesus, 30 seconds slower than it was yesterday. I need to go for yoga or go for a walk. You just go through the last 48 hours. Most of your answers live in the last 48 hours. How have you slept? What's been happening?
Sleep down. Yeah.
So within that last 48 hours, you'll find what it is you're looking for that will help correct this situation.
Guys, the golden ratio, true to its word, has given me a little bit of an out-of-body experience here. I think Butchies has successfully achieved what we were setting out to do, and I had a really big aha moment around the ability to not just hit the throttle, to use his analogy, and be on all the time, but finding space across your week year, month, whatever it is, to kind of down-regulate that system, go into that parasympathetic drive. Like, I preach that importance to the people I work with, that sometimes having a tool or a test to be able to see where you're sitting yourself is really beautiful, man. So thank you for that.
Pleasure. Loved having you. I can't wait for the more things we're going to do. But these are my favorite sessions, right? Because when I have a plan and we run a plan out and then something happens that's unexpected, they're the best sessions. The best sessions to me are when someone has a meltdown or like flips their lid or loses their composure, because then there's so much that we can unpack after that about why that happened, what to do next, and the next time, say, Hugh visits the golden ratio again, he can compare what it felt like, say, doing it in this space, which is a brand new environment and a very intense environment, and say, doing it in his backyard with his dog, just chilling out, he might be able to go much further with that ratio. And then that can not only show, hey, your space that you're physically in affects how you do it, but then also the room for growth and progression from there. So, that was fun.
Thank you, brother.